Hello, friends. Welcome to Warui Deshou, ladies, gentlemen, and envies. I let the music play a little bit longer this week because, I hadn't pulled up chat yet, is one of the reasons. So I was scrambling to pull up chat. Hello, chat. And then I was just enjoying the music a lot, as Vorgelia is recounted in chat. I'm the Subtle Doctor. This is Warui Deshou. This is our Stream of Thought YouTube series. This is season 4 of that, in which we're looking at episode 6 of the Promised Neverland anime.
Named 311045.
Oh,
Subparagraph section C, Cypher 95. You get the idea,
If you're listening to this as a podcast, the first voice you just heard was the bearded one, the mighty oak of the Warui Deshou forest from across the pond.
We only call him the bearded one. He once came down to our village. He's wanted and pillaged.
Potion seller.
Must find a hero to destroy the bearded one.
I'm just more upset that no women have ever called me the mighty oak, but maybe there's still time for that.
Potion seller, I'm about to go into battle. I require strong potions.
Oh, God. Can I... Can I just ask you a question, Doc? Because you said about voices then, I feel that this is a great segue to something I wanted to just very quickly bring up. You retweeted something before, which I believe might have been, erstwhile YouTuber phenomenon, Digibro, screaming about JoJo's over JoJo's footage. Was that actually his voice, if I may ask? Is that actually what he sounds like?
So, okay.
Oh my god, do we get the big scoop on this guy's voice?
Man.
Okay, please. Exclusive information.
I can't
Give it to me.
I kind of can't believe we're talking about this. But it's okay.
Please shit talk one of your friends on stream.
Well, so I would not say Digibro and I are friends. We've conversed.
I don't know who that is.
We've conversed in comments before, but I don't even know if he knows who I am.
Okay, so now that you said you're not friends, he's super disappointed.
He fucking sucks. No.
Oh
so Digi is a very popular Anituber, which is short for anime YouTuber in English. And,
translator's note.
Right. And so that is his real voice, by the way, So this is just him in one of his sort of, I don't know, he's one of those YouTubers that makes content almost every day, and so he's just kind of
content.
Always, content, right? The quality over quantity approach.
Do you mean the other way around? Quantity over quality.
Yes, god damn it. I mean the quantity over quality.
High praise for Digibro, 90-something.
Well, the reason I ask is I've never heard
this episode sponsored by Digibro, 90-something.
It won't be after I say this particular comment, because I just want to point out to him, I didn't realise that someone could make a career in sounding like Conan O'Brien if he just had a mousetrap dropped on his dick, but, well, here we are.
He doesn't usually...
That was awful.
It was really bad. That was a bad video. I don't want to sound like I'm being a defender of his, because I actually haven't really enjoyed much of his content in a while. I won't say he's never made good videos, but anyway, he doesn't usually... He's not usually screeching. He was just doing a thing. And
Jesus, though. I'd listening to that on my headphones as walking home, and I've just...
The video that I reposted to someone did a genius thing, of making it as if it was a telephone call to another character in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure who just looked tired and hung up on him. That made me very happy.
I take it you all here have seen Tom and Jerry at some point. Do you remember the noise that Tom makes when he gets a mallet dropped on his foot? That's what he sounded like, just if he actually started speaking words. Dude, you can do better. I'm just going to say that.
Yeah.
Maybe he's practicing. I'm practicing. But, Doc,
he's failing.
Oh my god. Doc, speaking of your horrible retweets.
Okay.
Oh, am I being given the finger?
No. I was going to say something else, but like no, I was stopping.
Oh no! Please go for it. Please go for it.
I was just gonna say for those on the podcast, the other voice you're hearing is the First Lady of Warui Deshou, the Dark Web herself, Vorgelia. Welcome, Vorgelia.
Oh my God! Hello. If you're hearing this as a podcast, you won't see the huge, just injustice that's being done to me. I'm relegated to the gremlin corner at the bottom right now. So that's my position.
No, this is not the gremlin corner. I am
now in the gremlin corner.
This is the cool kids corner of the screen. What are you talking about?
The triple C?
Yep.
The C3? Hey, let's go.
C cubed.
Or have some 420 in the C3?
Mm-hmm. Oh, God.
Whatever the children do these days. But Doc, you had a very interesting retweet about Diebuster. Do you have anything to say? Do you have anything to say about yourself?
Just that, Mark from Anime Ad for Millionaire has great taste. That's what I'm saying.
I hate you. I hate both of you.
I haven't done anything. What are you having to go at me for?
That's you. Me and Mark.
No, him and Mark.
Yeah. Shout outs to Mark. We're gonna be on a podcast. We'll be on a podcast together at some point soon, he and I. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be there.
No,
I'm not invited. If I'm invited, I'm uninvited.
Vorgelia, noted Diebuster hater. And hater of good things, we'll just say. We'll just leave it at that.
Diebuster killed my family.
Are you going to avenge yourself on it? Trading in the mountains for many years at a time to punch a DVD in the face.
That was a heated podcast. At times. Yeah, the Buster cast. We all loved Gunbuster, but we were divided on Diebuster.
I was...
Yeah, Shadon was like, for once in your goddamn life, Shadon, you were like, lukewarm in the middle.
It was a fucking Big Mac. What more? Well, actually, no, that's disingenuous. That's too low. I could do better than that. It was Wendy's. I don't fucking know.
How dare you?
I'm on the right side of the screen. Doc is on the left side of the screen, and then Shadon is behind the versus sign in the middle, kind of shrugging.
No, basically. We've got lawful good, chaotic evil, and true neutral.
Who's chaotic evil?
Okay,
I mean, even on this,
probably me.
On this video here, I'm on the bottom right, which is where chaotic evil is.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, very strategic placement. I will sue.
That's very intentional. According to fandom opinion, I would probably be considered the evil, because I think the consensus is that Gunbuster is this amazing triumph and Diebuster was kind of a disappointment. Follow up.
I'm the one that no one talks to at parties about it because there with Bobby. It's alright.
This is okay. But this is not about the superior works of Gainax. This is about the Promised Neverland, and this is about episode 6, number something.
The Halloween special, as it turns out.
Right. Before we get there, though,
31st October.
Before we talk about episode 6, Shadon is going to tell us about the
Twitter poll
from episode 5, Twitter polls.
Coming right up. So, episode 5, we had 2 polls last time. The first one of which is the best Ray face? And the first one was, I'm not the traitor. And the other one was, I'm the traitor! Like that.
Oh my god!
Maybe that's a very poor impression of it, I freely admit. But anyway, the results, we got...
The evil face.
This was a landslide.
Okay.
This was a landslide that killed an entire village, as a matter of fact, because it was 100% in favour of, I am the traitor. So, there you go.
Man.
And then we had...
It hurts to be on the wrong side of history sometimes.
Jesus, you're right. Anyway, next poll. Would you ever disobey Emma? And we had 2 options. We had, maybe I'd try, and the other one was, fuck no. No. No.
Never.
It was a 70-30 in favor of fuck nah, bro.
Very good. And those are the polls. Today, Shadon is going to be handling the polls because he's a good person and is taking his life in his hands. He's willing to do it for the greater good of time and space and this channel.
Yeah, today Shadon is on the pole side and I'm on the gremlin side. I'm on gremlin duty.
What is with the gremlin reference? Like,
it's not a reference. It's a thing people say about people. Generally about themselves.
We're actually prepping a poll as we
I
speak.
will not explain it.
are you like having a match on a bow and arrow at this point? That's the only Gremlins image I know. Is Gizmo. With
See,
the bow
I
and arrow.
watched Gremlins like for the first time like 2 months ago or so. So I'm
Okay.
not sure.
How was it? Give us a short review of Gremlins.
Okay. It was weird. It was like one of those movies where I kind of felt like I had to leave the kind of theater room where
Okay.
we were watching it. Just kind of went outside to hang out a bit, kind of catch a break from the stuff that's happening, and then come back in. It was like at a company event.
Oh, so it was with work buddies. You were watching Gremlins.
Yeah.
Is there a gremlin who is also a spider? Or is that that's Gremlins 2, isn't it? The
Isn't
spider
that
gremlins.
isn't that Peter Parker, the second one?
That's Penny Parker specifically, if you happen to have been a Spider-Verse
Penny
fan.
Parker is not a gremlin. Well, I don't know, but like Peter Parker, the second one from the alternate universe, he seemed super gremlin. Like he's just sitting in his room, eating garbage, doing nothing. He's basically a gremlin.
That's the non-alcoholic but still incredibly washed-up Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
The
yes.
has-been.
That's the Saint Anger Spider-Man. You know, that's how bad that was.
That's a good reference. I thought the Gremlins were like, maybe I'm confusing it with Aliens, where like
Sorry.
The same movie. Basically.
I'm so sorry, but I have to intervene and just say, when you said that, I just imagined. No. Moving on.
Fucking
Okay.
gremlins poking out of 16-year-olds' chests.
Please tell me that doesn't
Like,
happen.
do you remember the thing RLM calls like the birthday shot, where it's like in the first Alien movie, the kind of alien like kind of opens his hands and goes, "Wah!"
Mm-hmm.
Imagine like a gremlin kind of doing the same thing, except out of the chest of a 16-year-old.
And he's just
Just
smoking
kinda
a
like,
cigarette.
Happy birthday!
Oh.
That was an image that's going to take a while to get out of my head.
Okay, I thought each of them had like, you know, what was like, this is the spider gremlin. This is the gremlin that's like has some other weird like body type or something. Again, maybe I'm thinking...
So in the first movie, they all seemed kind of the same. I don't know the expanded universe.
Do they wear tuxedos at any point?
Yes.
Yes.
In the first movie, they go to like a dodgy bar and pretend to be like gangsters from the 60s or something.
That's amazing.
It's so dumb.
Gremlins with
Again,
dirty
I
souls.
had to go outside the fucking theater room place, out to the lobby every now and then, because it was a bit too much.
Okay. A bit too much. The succinct
At ti-
Gremlins
yes,
review.
that's my review.
Stay tuned for the sort of in-universe pseudo-sequel, Pokemon Detective Pikachu.
Yeah, but my review is a bit too much. Popcorn was nice.
Good.
Professional movie review.
4 stars.
Or no, are we,
4 stars.
are we ready to talk about what we are reviewing in full? Episode 6.
Yes.
Okay, so
TPL.
So yes, the new Star Wars movie is out. Let's talk about it.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So
Promised Tatooine. It's where there's a moisture farm. And the children are being watched over by droids, but they
yes,
don't know.
employed by Gerbil.
Wait a second.
A big competitor of Jabba the Hutt.
Jawas
Wait a minute.
lick their sweat in the night.
Wasn't it a plot point in episode 1 that Anakin couldn't run away because of a bomb in his head? Isn't that basically the same thing as what we've got in this show?
I don't remember that at all.
And they blow you up. Well, I mean, if he had spinned, that would have been a good trick. So
I have no memory of this.
I'm just saying, it just goes to show how good the kids are in the Promised Neverland that they could figure this out.
Only because Shadon pointed it out. I actually remember.
There's a bomb in his head? Is it a force bomb?
No,
it's just it's literally a stick of dynamite.
Yeah,
in his head.
In episode 1, I don't know if it's in his head, but basically what he says is he can't run away because they'll blow him up or something. Because at that point he's a slave to Watto. Or something.
Did someone mention me? Here I am. I'm a Nubian.
Why can you do that so well?
Your mind tricks don't work on me.
Manira, surprisingly,
you didn't miss a lot.
You missed
we talked about
anything. We have not talked about the
from the 1990s, the shitty movies. You know, you race now in the pod. Here we go. The Promised Neverland, episode 6. It was okay. It was just okay. Now, clean my shop some more. Okay. Yeah, here we go. We're going to do the summary now. I don't remember that either, Felix. Hello, Bluesy. Hello, Manira.
Again, I remember it just
Hello,
because
Sophie.
Shadon pointed it out.
That's a lost to history plot point of that movie. Episode 6 begins with a cheap cliffhanger. And I'm gonna get out of the way now and let people talk about it.
Did anyone here watch the last episode where I talked about how amazed I am at this show? You know, how much I respect it creatively, how much I think, where the plot point would go based on this show's stellar track record with just, maintaining tension. It was Phil.
Mm-hmm.
This show opens, in the last episode, we ended with the children checking the bookshelf to see Mom's secret room. And then the door opens, and they're all spooked. It's like, what are you gonna do?
Oh no!
Oh my gosh!
It's happening.
No, it's just
happening.
Phil. Phil got name dropped in this episode really hard. Phil accomplished more in this episode than most characters.
And he's not even 5 years old.
And you see him for 2 seconds.
I feel like he appears less in the manga.
Oh my god!
To the point where
So are they taking achievements from other people and then putting them onto Phil to build up Phil as this big dude?
So I think what they're doing is, my memory is hazy. They're either, I don't think they're so much taking achievements from other people as
they just know.
They just hear this. Something happens later. Phil suddenly is playing this kind of important role, and I think that they just want to keep him in front of mind and be like, we're foreshadowing. We didn't pull it out of nowhere or whatever. But yeah. So
all right, let me. So this
I don't remember him doing this. He could have. I need to reread it, but yeah, I don't recall. So
this cliffhanger. So okay. I'm not going to go banging on about this because it is just an isolated thing, but all I'm going to say is if you wanted to round off this moment, the only thing that was missing was an audience laugh track when they breathed a sigh of relief.
How dare you?
No, again, we talk about this. We talk about this
right.
so much. What if this was a horrible Hollywood movie? You know, so the moment Phil opens the door, it plays like a loud orchestra thing, like bah! It's like, oh no, it's Phil. Oh my god! But then, like the super loud noise.
Potion seller.
It kind of gets
I
you.
tell you, I'm going into battle.
Or it has the Inception noises.
And I want only your strongest.
Yeah, something like that. It was dumb. I didn't care for it. Moving on.
Yeah, I mean, it was a misstep, I think, and it was
a misstep,
because
it was a misstep in an otherwise amazing episode.
Like last episode, I was like, oh, you guys don't have to worry, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. This show's not gonna fuck it up. It's not gonna fumble around. It's not gonna do any of this, and yeah. And then the show basically goes to me, Traveler, my potions are too strong for you. Sorry, stupid. No, yeah, it just... and I think, so this is a sort of unfair advantage I have of reading the manga. Like, when I could, like, if things like this happen that are kind of, like, I don't know, sort of poor executions, or even, not even poor execution, but just cliffhangers in general... if they turn out to not really deliver, it's sort of, I'm not left waiting and wanting and then disappointed. Like, I'm just reading, reading, and like it just doesn't stick in my mind.
Can I ask you a question, though, Doc? In the chapter structure of the manga, is that also the cliffhanger where the door opens, cut to gap to next chapter, and then it's Phil who turns up like at the very start, or is that just
Well, so I can't say with 100% certainty because I don't even remember it being Phil. You know what I mean? So, like, I do know that the chapter structure is, there are a lot of cliffhangers. Whether this is a specific one that they've lifted from the manga exactly, I actually don't remember. Because, again, I don't even remember if it was Phil that opened the door. So this might not be a cliffhanger styled in that way in the source material. Or it could be, and I just totally forgot about it because I was just so invested in seeing what happened next. I just kept reading. Yeah. It's like you just sort of... Pacing problems are... How do I say this? Like, certainly they exist in manga, but so often they can be mitigated because you can read at your own speed. You don't have to linger on shit.
Yeah, well, it's like I speculated previously about how, you know, if there's a gap between publication, you might want to have a sweetener or a breadcrumb to, you know, entice people back beyond just the material in of itself. And this to me seems like it fits that bill because it serves no other purpose. In fact, like, as a one-off, I'm not so fussed about it. But stuff like this actively takes away from the tension we otherwise would feel. Because next time you have something like this, I'm like, oh, it's just about the fucking kids in it. I'm not scared. I'm not worried for them. It's just, you know, Onion Kid's going to pop his dorky little head through and it's going to be him.
I think, like, the rest of the episode kind of was tense enough to kind of...
True.
Almost immediately rebuild that trust. Like, oh, fuck, we gotta fucking cop out. I'm mad. But then, like, almost immediately, we get some pretty cool moments. And we get, like, a lot of cool shit, to put it scientifically.
TM. Yeah,
TM.
Thank you. Cool shit.
And it's just unfortunate. Well, this episode is certainly, you know, it's about books. It's got bookends. It's just unfortunate the bookends are a bit rubbish. But we'll get to the other one when we get to the end of the episode. So, no prizes guessing who I'm referring to here. Anyway, poll up on the chat there, folks. Tell us if you think Phil is the, you know, elder, you know, he of 1,000 goats heads, god of the world, or if he's just a regular kid. We're a democracy. We're interested.
we'll update those at the end of the show for sure, and get an early read. All right. So with that out of the way, this was a very disappointing way to open the episode for sure. But then we get to the planning, right? The big kids, as I call them, from habit of being a dad, the big kids are planning stuff on their own. By the way, there's so many times, like, in this show, like, I wonder, you know, Grace Fieldhouse doesn't, there are a lot of kids that live there, and it doesn't look, is it just me, or does it look not huge? Like, to me, I don't remember thinking this place is huge, but, like, so often, the big kids are, like, in this dining room, this huge dining room, or this huge bedroom, and they're all alone. Like,
oh my god, yes. So they show even like the big dining room, and you see maybe 7 children, and then they're like, "Where's Don and Gilda?" I'm like, no, like 50% of the children at least are missing.
Yeah, or like Norman's doing stuff in the bedroom, and no one else is in there,
Yeah.
and it's nighttime.
Well, that's because unbeknownst to them, they've already escaped.
Oh my god,
they've gone. They've already made it out.
It might just be that they're omitting them because they're just not relevant, so that they wouldn't be tracked or anything. I think Bake Monogatari did that.
Right. I didn't know you watched Monogatari. That's cool.
I didn't finish it. I have 2 episodes left.
Oh boy,
It's so amazing, right? Oh
that's
my
an
god,
incredible show. I thought
fucking blew my mind. As someone that doesn't like, in this trio, I have the kind of, I'm the person that doesn't watch anime in quotation marks.
Mm-hmm.
At the time I watched it, I really didn't watch anime, and like it just blew my mind.
Yeah.
It's so good.
It was a thing. I remember when we first started the show pre-YouTube as a podcast only. And you were like, we can't review Monogatari because if I watched it, it would make me cry and make me sad. And so I'm like, okay.
You can't tell people that. You can't tell people.
Sorry. But listen, it does make you... It's a emotional show. For sure. It's fantastic.
It definitely. I since you brought it up, at the time I was in a very different mindset and very different life situation and very different stuff. I could watch it now. And I would welcome all the feelings.
Cool.
But what you're bringing up now is a very sensitive subject, and I will sue you.
I'm sorry. It was a painful time for you. I was not trying to be insensitive. Sorry. I just wanted to.
But yeah, no, definitely. Like, this is the kind of show that it's. We're just avoiding talking about Crone, aren't we?
We might be.
Well, that's not in the episode.
All right. So they're during the planning, right? There's these. Norman basically says there's 3 stages to this plan that we have to come up with. 3 key points. We have to figure out how to get over the wall and get out of the field house, and we have to then figure out how to get away from the larger kind of entity that is the farm. And then we have to, Shadon will be happy to note they're thinking about establishing ways to survive once they're out in the wilderness on their own. And the part of the plan they are working on now is step 2, getting away from the farm. With the rope, they already have a means of getting over the wall. And so now begins the portion where I have trouble reading my notes and I have to squint and hold my notebook up to my face.
Have you written them in small circles that might mean Morse code, possibly? Is that why it's not easy to decipher?
As a theme of this episode, I've drawn several pictures of owls and various circles around them. Yep. So the kids are doing this planning, and I'm gonna do. I may gloss over a scene or two here. So chat and you guys, please feel free to interrupt me and bring up anything you want. Not Bobby. God damn it! I did it again. Don. Why do I call him Bobby? I swear to God, I have Bobby written down in my notes. What the fuck? Why? I don't know why I associate him with that character from Inazuma 11. They don't even look anything alike. They look nothing alike, and for some reason I'm like, oh, that's Bobby from Inazuma. And that's not even his real name. That's just the fucking English dub name. He's called Sakazaki.
Robert do now?
So Robert, Donald, Donald bumps
Jimothy.
Yes, bumps into Isabella and ends up taking her key. And she is aware, right, that do you think that she's aware that her key's been taken, or just that something is weird here?
Something's weird.
Something is weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I throw something out here?
Stuff like this is very suspicious. Yeah.
Can I point something out? I am better equipped than Isabella because I have one of these. Yeah, if you've got a key that's going to stop, kids from getting into your secret radio room / video game collectible trophy lounge, you might want one of these with your key on it. Just a thought. Also,
Wow.
tiny small bad guy, or small bad guy as I like to call him.
That looks like an item drop from Dragon Quest.
Oh my god.
Giant chain with a key on it. Okay, so that happens. Isabella thinks this is strange. Moving on to the scene in the library. And William Minerva makes his grand debut.
Indeed. Or Billy Owl, as he was known as punk rock years.
Billy Owl, yes. Exactly. And
The owl dudes from Fujiko.
Oh shit!
yes, what were they?
Yeah.
What were they called?
Fräulein Eule.
Yeah, yes.
It's been too long.
It looks so the same.
It looks so much like it. That's exactly the imagery I got. I'm like, oh my god, is it the head dude with like the amazing suit and also the owl head?
Yes, and the really deep voice, like Fräulein
Oh my god,
Eule.
the deep voice. The deep voice.
Yes, that's good. I thought it was them on the other line for a moment until I remembered it was you.
Look, doing a deep voice right now is very unsettling to my brain. I will
Fair
not do
enough.
it.
Yes. No, please don't. So, yeah, they this is pointed out to Ray. I think he's the one that they're showing this, and it's something
Norman as well.
Oh, it's Norman.
Both
Okay,
Ray and Norman.
both the boys.
Like,
Okay,
like Emma is like, yes, I need you to meet someone.
yeah, this is yeah, that's right. I need you to meet someone. William,
Like, holy fuck.
William Minerva, has been discovered by Phil. Just so happens.
Phil!
Phil again, name drop.
Phil!
In the
Oh my
episode.
god, Phil.
Uncle
I've
Phil.
got a theory. He's Shub Diggerath. He's the old one, just hiding in plain sight. I'm calling it.
Okay, you have to elaborate on this in a moment.
Phil is like a robot, controlled by he/him.
God.
Something like that. It's like, yes, bring the children to me. That's what he/him sounds like.
Him bot.
Yes,
Yes,
master.
wait.
Beep.
Yes,
Boop.
I wanted to eat the
Wait
brain.
a minute. Wait a minute.
Give me the brain.
So we have like the evil sort of pseudo Eastern European scientists in Vorgelia, and then was that like a Texas robot that you were you were doing?
No. I'm doing no. He/him is instructing Phil the robot to bring him the human.
Man, this
Bring me the brain.
TPN headcanon is getting
I
out
want
of
to
hand.
eat the brain. I mean, we've established last episode that
Hello.
he/him is President Obama, so he probably
Okay. We are back
Hey,
up.
Phil decided to just visit the subtle
true.
doctor and whisper some weird things in his ear.
It was the cliffhanger. That was the break.
Bring me the children.
So, all right. Well, you have to now do your explain the robot. Explain the robot. Like what I heard you do was you were like, "Yes, master." Like very sensitive.
Yes, master. I will bring you the children.
Like a Red Dead, like tip of the hat, you know, and you're like, master.
I have to introduce you guys to Stingray. At some
No, it's
point
like okay,
because the
so
voice
he slash him like builds the robot, and already like the robot is sentient and more intelligent than him. So he slash him goes, "Bring me the children," and then just Phil says nothing and leaves.
10 out of 10 plan.
And then we don't know anything, and then he shows up mysteriously at the farm. Phil is coming.
Write this fan fiction.
If you at exactly 2038 go into your bathroom and turn off the lights and say, "Phil, take my brain," 3 times in front of the mirror, you will hear a knock on your door. Don't answer it. It is Phil. He will take your brain.
I wish this had happened in the episode, to be honest. Oh, dear.
Phil is
My counter theory was that they're gonna get over the wall with Phil, and he's just gonna get a little ahead of him, turn around, and he's just gonna start talking to him. But he's gonna sound like Christopher Lee, and he's gonna say, yes, well done, Emma. You've made it quite far, but your trials have just begun. I will see you further down.
You have 3 more levels in this.
And then he just disappears. He just fades into nothing.
Was Christopher Lee Raiden in the Mortal Kombat?
No, what?
No, that was
No.
that was Christopher Lambert who was in.
Okay, sorry. Moving
I'm
on.
afraid that there can only be one Christopher.
That's right. Yes. We need
Too
to have
good?
a wrestling
Too
match
good?
for the name of Christopher.
Did you make a Highlander reference or?
Oh yes, I did.
So William Minerva's name is in all these books. His not just his name, but his like name plate. I think they call it, or a book plate. It's just basically a sticker. Not a plate. It's not a plate.
Yeah, let's call it for what it is, right? Let's, this guy is so cheap. Let's not elevate him. It is just the sticker. Come on, this guy is nothing. I would beat him up.
He's not returned his books to the library. I mean, the late fees on those books by now must be immense.
Also,
Several $1,000s.
Sophie, you should be banned for like 2 episodes based on what you just said. I'm not even going to acknowledge it. I'm just going to move on.
I'm lower right side of the screen gremlin, so I don't get it.
No, you're actually blessed, Vorgelia, in this particular instance.
Mm-hmm. You are.
Just take it from me.
That sounds like a Darling in the Franxx thing.
Yes.
Bliss.
Such bliss that you're in right now. So, like, yeah, the stickers
I get it.
In the book, right? With
Please make them miserable.
an owl, and a sort of circle around the owl, and you look at them and you're thinking, well, what's special about this? And it turns out that these circles are actually Morse code. And I have to say, like, when you're first encountering this, whether it's in the manga or the anime, this might be the time when you sort of channel the spirit of Trickster in our chat and go, hold the fuck on. How did these kids figure this out? Like, how did they just think, like, wait a minute, like, this is obviously Morse code? And they actually, like, thankfully, when they're sort of elaborating how they discovered it, there was a children's book about Morse code. And so one of the kids, Phil, just happened to kind of apply the theory to
Phil, who we just talked about for like 10 minutes. Not just one of the kids. You don't get to call him one of the kids. Okay? You don't get to give Phil that treatment. Filbert. He has a name.
Filbert S. Langley. You think it was absurd?
I have to confess.
I think it was absurd.
I have to confess this only clicks how those circles translate into Morse code the second time around when I watched this episode, which was the gaps, specifically. But I do have a theory on all of this, Billy Owl shit, which we'll get to later.
If your theory is correct, it would make sense for Phil to just kind of pluck this from the ether. This clue. I have tons of thoughts on this. But again, saving that for the end. Okay. So, yeah. So the various words are like, sort of, what's the right word here? The circles via Morse code translate into words like run.
Give a hoot. Don't loot.
God damn it.
Bring
Why
potato chips on your way back.
Saute for 30 minutes.
Run, doubt, danger, truth. What the fuck? That was a word. What the fuck was a word saying?
It sounded like he's basically name dropping part 3 stands from JoJo's.
Oh. Yeah. Various 80s prog rock bands.
Stands, yes.
Danger, truth.
Danger, truth, yes.
Monster. Farm.
Judgeness.
You guys are playing really good defense against me this week. This is good. I like this. Please continue.
Is this the Promised Neverland's version of hashtags?
Yes, definitely.
Just throwing that out there.
Morse code farm.
Hashtag run. Hashtag brain.
Hashtag doubt.
So, like, they are theorizing, based on the super creepy Fräulein Euler Owl, that someone from the outside here is trying to communicate with kids in the farm, and based upon that and the specific words that have been communicated, they deduce that there's a probability, not definitely, but maybe there is like a human society outside of the farm, like that there are other humans alive, that they're not the last ones, which is important and very hopeful for them, that they won't just be sort of trying to rebuild humanity from the ground up, as it were.
I don't want to think about that. Don't even go there.
Okay. Yeah, we don't have to go there.
Let's not go there.
Let's not go there in any way, shape, or form. So, hentai game. No, I'm kidding. No. So there's also two. There's two. Sorry. There's 2 more of these. That. What is it? Shit. Oh, okay, I can read the notes. Okay, so there's 2 more. They look at all these books and they discern the words that I talked about. Then they find 2 more that they think are weird. There's like an adventure book, and then there's a mythology book.
Mm-hmm.
And there's weird things about each of these. Now, they don't say which weird thing is associated with which book, which I found annoying. I'm like, I want to know if they're talking about the adventure book when they say it says promise in it, or the so one of them has the word promise in it, and the other one has no Morse code. It's just a complete circle. And there's like a ton of theories to be had about this. So I want to know if it's the adventure that's the complete circle, or the myth. Like, I think it could end up being fairly significant what he's trying to communicate here. Obviously.
Oh my god! Like, holy shit! Okay, so I'm really trying to understand why these 2 books stood out. I can get the one where it's the full circle. Cool. What about the other one? The other one was like, it stood out because Emma was like, "Oh my god, this word is too difficult."
It's a,
and
I think she just had
Norman's
a
like
hunch
immediately like, yeah, garbage. or whatever the word was,
Promise.
flossing.
Yep, that's it. The Carlton
That's the
dance. Other dances that have been copyrighted.
So I'm not sure like what makes that book also kind of special, but
Well, I'm again going to save that for the fairy layer. So I'll tie
sure.
pins,
Just
pins, 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 pins,
hold,
pins, pins, pins.
hold on to your pants. You'll get your turn.
So,
But I'm really just kind of wondering also, A, how did they think though that was kind of special? B, like, how did they very much immediately reach the conclusion that basically, oh, these two must be some special guides. You know, maybe they have inside them information that would help us avoid the, you know, whatever, or maybe somehow cryptically describe what is outside of the walls or something.
Manira does point out in chat that one of them, the non-complete circle one, seems to have had pages ripped out.
Right. Okay. Yes.
So perhaps that is the sort of thing that makes it special. I agree with you that part wasn't clearly communicated, that the special making property is the property of having ripped out pages.
Okay.
That wasn't, so, I didn't get that either, so.
Yeah, like, I mean, I kind of, whatever, like, I'm willing to overlook it, but it seems like from a couple of things, they're kind of jumping into conclusions super quickly. Like, hey, you know, hey, these are guides. Mm-hmm. Like, hey, these are the things. It's like, yeah, a bit like,
yeah.
Okay, they're kind of immediately jumping into a conclusion that's very, like, convenient for the plot. Mm-hmm. So it's like, yeah, you know, they're probably not wrong, because this would make for an interesting plot.
Right,
so.
Right. Right. At least they say that it's a matter of probability. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like, at least they do, except sure. It will not be.
I know, exactly. Yeah, no, exactly. But listen, what kind of show would this be if William Minerva was just nothing? You'd be like, what the fuck is this?
No, but like, I mean, like, I mean, you basically said, oh, we have the debut of William Minerva, so now we know he's a character. He could have been like, I don't know, AI, or he could have been like kind of misdirection. Maybe they were grasping at straws. Mm-hmm. Maybe it was a completely different thing. Maybe what they're guessing, you know, took them to a kind of a thing someone else made up, or something that's defunct now.
No, it's me, Bobby Zeus. I'm the real character, and I am here to also eat you, except I only eat liver, like those weird orcas that were killing great white sharks off the coast of South Africa by only eating their livers and leaving the rest. Did you guys hear about that shit?
And then at that point, Ray's like, yes, okay, getting my liver eaten is better than getting my brain eaten. We should give them our liver.
Doc, did you just fill in the rest of that little story with something you found on Google's I'm feeling lucky function?
It sounds like it, but look, that is a real thing, and it fucking blew my mind. Like, I don't know if there are any avid watchers of... What is...
Sorry. I'm just gonna eat some snacks while you're talking. Just continue, please.
So, I don't know if there are any avid, like, nature documentary and... Not documentary, the viewers of nature docs out there. But
aficionados.
Yeah, so I love them. I happen to really enjoy the animals, and... I have gotten teary and weepy way more times about fucking a show about, like, lemurs or you know, octopi or any like of animals than like people, because it's like there's always the part about like their habitat is shrinking, they're in danger.
Have
like,
you seen that fucking shit where it's like a lizard in some beach and there's fucking snakes everywhere?
Yeah.
It was fucking on the edge of my seat.
That was Blue Planet.
Blue Planet's the shit. But like, so you may or may not have seen... Oh, how long ago were these? I feel like these were in the mid-2000s, so but like maybe 10 years ago, there were a couple of documentaries called Air Jaws and Air Jaws 2, which sound hilarious, right? They sound like...
Sounds like a sci-fi channel movie.
Yes, exactly. But it is... They discovered these like incredible great white sharks off the coast of South Africa, that the way they hunt is... They swim underneath seals, like the seal will be up here, and they come up from underneath, and they just fly out of the water. Like these enormous, like, animals weighing tons and tons, just flying, like, they get so high in the air, and it's this incredible thing to see.
Wow.
And
Sounds like Jaws.
it's phenomenal. Like it's just a beautiful thing to watch. But you can't go and see them anymore. They've been hunted away because these two goddamn rogue killer whales, these two orcas, like they're brothers. They showed up in the habitat in those waters and proceeded to murder the shit out of all the great white sharks. They just ate the liver and left the rest. Didn't eat like the meat, like it wasn't a food thing. They just murdered them. They just ripped out the liver, and then they killed them off. Like they killed so many that the rest of the population left that area. Unbelievable.
Wow.
I reckon. I mean, Sylvie just brought up the David Attenborough there, so I reckon we should get him to do commentary on the Promised Neverland. And here we see. Here we see Emma, Ray, and Norman gathering inside the dormitory area to discuss their escape plans in order to flee the farm before they are devoured by the ancient demons ruling the land.
I love how, like, in so many David Attenborough, like, instead of a big, like, introductory thing like Steve Irwin or someone, like, he just will say, like, the name of the thing. It'll be like, footage, and then he'll be like, a young Phil.
Yeah, oh my god, yes. Commentary. Oh my god. Imagine if sports commentary was like that. The silence, footage of sports.
Philippe Coutinho.
James dude person having the ball.
Yep. Yeah. It'll be great.
And then just more silence. And here we see the goalkeeper. He seems unsatisfied.
No, I'm going to go one better than that. And here we see Daigo Umehara. He walks in wings. Predatory, poised, and graceful. He sees the incoming attack, and the dragon punch follows. It hits true.
Daigo fucking doesn't even. He looks at his PSP checking notes. Or like maybe that was years ago, but basically like, oh my god, Daigo Umehara. Like fucking, you go to the tournament and then on the side here is Daigo Umehara sitting by himself looking at a PSP. It's like, oh my god, the biggest predator.
Can you imagine David Attenborough commentating Evo Moment 34?
Oh my god.
Yeah. And here we see Daigo parrying the Chan-Li kick soup repeatedly. A marvelous feat of execution.
And like in the background.
No. It's more like there's a lot of silence.
Yes.
And then at some point he's like, Chun-Li super.
It's like, and here the parry begins. And then it's like, like the classical music, And it's like, Ken, yes. That's what
the crowd goes wild in a shared moment of communal bonding.
I can do this all
night.
If you put all of our weird, like, off-topic discussions one but like next to each other, they're a guide to what the world is outside your house. They're a guide.
Yes, I agree.
They tell you how to escape your horrible situation.
Speaking of escaping horrible situations.
Yep.
Oh my god.
We'd have such trouble doing a Patreon because we could never contain this behind the paywall. We'd just go off on tangents.
I'd totally be okay with being paid to chat shit, but anyway, that's neither here nor there.
Oh my god, yes. Like, again, I tell these people, right? Holy fuck, please record your podcast banter, because it's full of this. This happens like every single time, and they don't record any of it, so nobody gets to see it. They're horrible people. Tell them.
I just had a terrible thought that I won't share. So, we have now, getting back to TPL manga, anime, we have the Dawn doubting Norman scene, right? Where he starts to just break down in front of Gilda. I can't remember why, like, what tips him off to...
Because he finds Little Bunny.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, you're right. So they're in they're in the secret room, right? They didn't. Phil was like, "Yo, it's time for dinner," and they're like, "Get the fuck out of here, you little dweeb!" And then they keep looking around, and yeah, they find little Bunny, and Norman like starts to just kind of have a panic attack, and Gilda is very freaked out by the whole thing, and then again the door starts to open, right after they look around and see everything. I guess they see like the communication device, the 80s stereo. They see all the stuffed animals, and then the door starts to open again, and this time they hear Mom's voice. And so I guess this is like, I don't know, thought it was like kind of not redeeming, but it was good that they had like a callback to like the beginning shit. Like, we're like, okay, here's like a real threat now. But thankfully Isabella gets called away, so she doesn't go and investigate, and the kids make it out of there. Despite, I mean, they should have fucking been caught. Miracle of miracles, it did not happen. Let's see. I already talked about Phil was the one who found out the Morse code. And
I called it last episode, by the way. I called it. I'm like, yes, there's going to be a bunch of trophies there, and they're going to find out that people have been killed. I did it.
You did.
It's a bit like, yeah, it's a bit like, a bit weird how they jump into that conclusion again. Like, hey, the thing is here. So, I mean, it could have easily been there whether they were killed or just taken away. But I don't know, characters kind of learn or come to conclusions for plot convenience in this episode. Tiny bit happens.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Whatever, this episode was good. I don't care.
Thank you, comrade.
Thank you. I missed the break, yo.
You do not like this episode, you traitor. So once Don and Gilda, like, by the skin of their teeth, they make it out of this hairy situation. They like confront the big kids, and particularly Emma, like, feels really awful about this, and they're now forced to tell them the whole truth. And it, the way the anime is paced, there's not a lot of time in between their decision to withhold the truth and now their decision to come clean. It feels longer in the manga.
It feels longer here because we had to wait. But I mean, true. Like it's been a fair few episodes behind now, and a lot has happened. So I'm not sure if I share that opinion with you.
Okay,
I think it's been a pretty fair amount of time. Rather, I think it's better if I like that they handled it now, and I like that they handled it in a way that empowers these secondary characters as characters and lets them kind of show their personality and 100%. Their convictions and stuff.
Oh yeah,
100%. And this show, like one of my favorite movies of all time, Dark City. Dark City is a wonderful mystery movie that basically ends up changing perspective to its multiple protagonists, and it changes its perspective to whoever has the least information. And it continues to be an amazing mystery. It continues to build up. It's amazing payoff for the entire thing. And in this one, I'm kind of seeing a similar thing. Like, we're kind of getting to the kind of to change perspectives into kind of the underdogs in the situation. We change perspectives, so the like Emma, the big three, the three dudes, the three musketeers are kind of coming up with her plans. They're kind of going along with their stuff. And now we're giving the other characters kind of attention. We're kind of able to see how other people deal with it, how, less kind of not so much important, but we get to develop those characters, and we get to kind of go back and kind of re-experience that kind of like shocking revelation of what's happening, and we're kind of getting to re-experience the massive like change in personality it brings. It's amazing. I love it.
I mean, complete agreement with you on the execution, but I'm going to actually have a mildly dissenting opinion here, only because I'm just one of those people. No. Hear me out.
Hey, you'll die now.
Traitor.
Come at me, Ahmed. Anyway, Because I know where that's from. I remember that reference.
I'm not
Anyway.
doing that. Oh my god! Look, that's just the thing I say now. I'm not doing that garbage.
Okay.
I will destroy you, please.
That's bad.
Don't associate me with that garbage.
I will not.
This is not
All right.
okay.
Sorry.
So
Pull up Agretsuko and pretend Agretsuko is talking.
right. So, like, the point I was going to make was this, right? I actually think they might have wanted to hold this on for a bit longer and let some other things build up around it. House of Cards kind of thing. I mean, House of Cards falling apart, dominoes being knocked over is more impressive the more you get going. But of course, you don't want to be waiting too long for that to happen. Now, I'm not saying that what they did here was wrong. I think that it was executed, as you say, magnificently. And as you rightly pointed out, it did deliver on making the secondary characters more empowered. It brought them up to the even keel, where now, rather than being a group of 3 and a group of 2, they're a group of 5. That's good. That is very good. But I'm just thinking that, they could have savored this a little longer. Maybe. I don't know.
I see that point. Like, could the payoff have been even?
Point, yeah.
Could it have been even better if they continue to ratchet up the?
Because the sense of betrayal, like, you could probably, there's probably a formula for this that some psychologist somewhere has figured out, but I would argue the sense of betrayal that you might feel in such a situation is stronger the longer the time passes between when you're told a lie and when you find out about it later. If you live under illusion for 2 days, it's not so bad, but if you live under an illusion or a lie for a lot longer...
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty sure in the thing it's actually quite a lot longer, because it's been like 3 episodes, but it's been more than a few days in between the episodes. But... what I think is basically, I still support the narrative decision made as it is, because A, we get to see the characters develop better, and we're gonna get a more diverse cast. We're gonna get a more diverse cast in the future episodes, and there's gonna be a better dynamic potentially. But also, like, a big part of this show for me was kind of, Emma is our favorite character. Emma's like kind of determination, Emma's kind of optimism, Emma's drive to make things better. And I think like kind of hammering home the betrayal that Emma did to those children, I think would have taken a bit away from the narrative that we're seeing now, which is basically, these children, they are fighting for their future, and they have all of these feelings of determination, optimism, all that kind of stuff. And it would distract a lot from that, and also take time from the actual planning and the actual pacing of, the plot twists and how like everything is going. So I think they handle it perfectly, personally.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I can see where both of you guys are coming from. Like,
absolutely. I wouldn't have liked it going on until the end of time.
Manira,
I think
chat.
a little bit longer would have been nice.
Yeah,
Anyway,
it does not drawn out misunderstandings. Yeah, no, those are never a good plot point. Like, personally, yeah. I hate those
Oh god, I'm remembering Frank's now, actually, because that was one of the things that made me rage.
Listen,
about the show.
Like, there are so many. This is a great point that Vorgelia has highlighted from Manira, because there's a lot of like really classic, beloved anime comedies in particular that like are premised on a misunderstanding and drives me fucking bananas. I absolutely hate it so much. It ends up being like I just don't find it amusing. It's just frustrating. It's just frustrating. So like,
exactly, 100%.
Yeah,
also,
and Shadon, yeah, you're talking about Frank's like the lack of communication between the characters. Like, there's this big information gap, and it just drove you like up the wall.
I'm actually going to get into that later, because one of the things I want to talk about later is when is it acceptable for characters to fuck up in fiction. But that's going to be something I'll come to later when we get to the talking points.
Never.
Also, an angle that I didn't quite mention was how Emma also develops as a character because of this. If we had drawn it out longer, if we had drawn it out longer, and there was more animosity, like, oh my god, you lied to us for so long, we don't have anything to hope for anymore. We wouldn't have gotten this moment where Emma kind of realizes her mistake in time, and now trusts people a lot more, and kind of fundamentally changes as a character, which will absolutely come up and make the entire thing better. Somehow, this show, 6 episodes in, talking about children, manages to develop all these characters like over and over, just layers upon layers of characterization.
Except for Onion Kid, the only layers he's got are in his namesake.
Find out how I feel about all of this
I spoke too much. My voice is giving out.
after the break.
Okay. We're having a break?
Good luck, brave soldier, as ye wander off into the battlefield ahead.
We're back. Sorry about that, everyone. Thanks for sticking with us. For
Oh
a
my
few
god,
minutes.
I'm still eating. Give me a warning next time. Oh my
So, here's an idea that I thought of when I stepped away. What if David Attenborough narrates the Digibro video? What if he not narrates it, comments on it? Like, what if he just reads the Digibro part? Like, I can't believe you think this is okay. It's not okay. It's not okay. Look at this shit. Look at this shit.
No.
No. That would be like the one time this actually happened where someone gave the Archer Unlimited Blade Works mantra to Ian McKellen.
Oh my god. Okay, no. Imagine, right?
What?
Yes, it happened. It really did.
Did she read it?
Did it happen?
She?
Wait a minute. Who did you say?
Ian McKellen.
Oh, I thought you...
Oh my god.
I only heard Ellen.
I heard Ellen.
No, Ian McKellen.
Oh, okay. Did he read it?
Yes, he did.
Oh my god.
He was very confused.
That's incredible.
That's amazing.
Wow. I'll have to track this down.
But no, imagine David Attenborough. Just picture a scene in your head. David Attenborough goes, Steven Spielberg, introducing himself in Japanese, inviting you to the Universal Studios Japan It seems wonderful.
Holy shit, dude. Oh my god.
Sugoi!
I feel like it just entered a deep trance then. like I wasn't quite
Okay,
conscious
you can't
that I
say
was
deep
supposed to.
trance when I'm here. Like, dude, I'm so deep in that shit. I'm sorry.
I definitely am going to go unconscious in a minute. This is sending me under this talk.
I'm so sorry.
We're just losing.
Anyway.
We're losing viewers right and left.
Oh my God.
Plummeting.
Right, let us carry on.
Oh, so funny. I don't.
We're not even halfway through the Promised Neverland. Are we?
Yeah.
We're about 2/3.
Okay, yeah, we're pretty far in.
So like Vorg was talking about, like, the kids were forced to apologize to Dawn and Gilda, to Bobby and Gilda. And Emma in particular, like, she bows very deeply. She's extremely apologetic. And Dawn and Gilda, as you said, felt very emboldened, empowered. They felt like really real in these moments. And Emma saying, like, I was wrong. Dawn gets to fucking punch Ray. Like, you know, Norman, I'm kind of like, whatever on, I get it. But Ray had it coming for trying to sell him out. So he needed to punch him. That definitely needed to happen. And I thought it was interesting, like, so Dawn could have been very upset about the content of the lie, right? I mean, and clearly he was to a degree, right? He could have been like, you know, you think this is okay? No, he could have said, look, you had said that bad people were adopting Connie and the other kids, but you didn't tell us that this was a farm, you didn't tell us about the demons, you didn't tell us we were being eaten. But, like, the thing he was upset about, the thing that got him the most was not the content of the lie, but the fact that just they weren't trusted with the whole truth. Mm-hmm. That, like, you know, like, I thought, he said, you know, I thought when you let us in, you really let us in, and, like, you were saying, hey, we can rely on you, but, like, we're clearly still some kind of burden to you, and that's painful. Like, it hurts me to think about how weak I am, because I'm weak, like, I can't do anything about Connie getting shipped out, and this is something that's being, like, reinforced every day in this house. But, like, I thought from you guys, right, like, I wasn't seen that way, but clearly I still am, and it fucking sucks. And after hearing all that, like I said, Emma, so sorry, like, very, very apologetic, like, vows to, like, let them in fully and rely on them and trust in them completely. Apologies all around. In that apology scene, like, Ray is kind of filmed interestingly, like you've pointed this out before, Shadon, and it's nothing like super, I guess, subtle or technically sound, or maybe not. It is technically sound, but, like, it's not like a work of it's not like a stroke of genius, but it was interesting.
It's
I
a
thought,
small touch.
yeah,
It's a
that,
small
like,
touch.
you got Norman and Emma, like, in the light of the lantern talking to Dawn and Gilda, but, like, Ray outside, like, in the shadows very much. Still
I thought this
back.
was just being set up as some sort of, like, you know, good cop, bad cop interrogation here.
Yep, clearly.
But then again, it's got turned around.
Swerve.
If I
Hey,
may,
you know, this is a subject we've never talked about before on this show, but let's praise how good the direction is in this show. Let's praise how good the direction is.
never brought up before.
How that...
Ever.
There's, like, two amazing scenes for me. The one is here, which is basically how the information is kind of given to the characters, how kind of the passage of time is conveyed, how we get to see it, and how we get to see the reactions. And it's all done so well. The other one is the fucking JoJo moment when, spoiler, appears behind the tree. Oh my god, let's talk about that later.
What? Oh, yeah, okay, we're almost there.
Massive JoJo moment.
We're almost there. So, and there are several scenes I'm going to talk about it here, but I think it happens a couple of other times in the show where the way the shot is framed, and what this has to do with what you just brought up, Vorgelia. The way the final shot of the apology is framed, it's like someone is kind of peering over like a windowsill or something, or peering from behind like a wall. Like there's
I brought that before. Like,
okay.
It feels like they're being watched.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's very.
Wonder if that's going to come up later in this episode.
Don Flamingo.
Yes.
That's a brilliant reference. That's amazing. I'm so happy.
Yeah, exactly. He's Don Flamingo.
That's incredible. I'm so glad that you did that. Mm-hmm. So let's see. The next big scene, you have Emma and Norman hanging laundry on a beautiful, clear day on the farm.
It's a new dawn.
Exciting footage. It's here we see Norman and Emma hanging laundry. It's a beautiful day.
The smell of gain is in the air. So they're hanging it, and Emma. So here comes a moment that I'm not really sure how I feel about. Emma says like she has a plan regarding the escape, and she tells Norman, but she tells him off screen. Now, so we've praised this show a lot for having off-screen tells in terms of like catching a character up to speed when we already know what's been going on, and that's great.
This is the exact opposite.
This is totally like this is very much like this information is being withheld annoyingly.
Yeah. This has been happening like all throughout the show. Like, oh, it's Ray. How is he going to get the chips out? Whatever. Well, we'll see off screen, and maybe he'll tell us later. How are we going to do this thing? It just it keeps coming up, and I think like I don't mind. We'll see how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
If Emma was like, yes, okay, we're going to play tag and then hop over the wall and then go do the thing, and then like 4 episodes later they do that. Is that better?
I think the key difference here, though, is that when that's happened previously, Ray said that he has a way of breaking the tracking devices and then hasn't elaborated on that yet.
Right.
That's fine. But what's happened here is like, I've got a plan, and then for what? A plan to make fucking Girl Scout cookies? A plan to, do hopscotch? A plan to, burn the fucking house down? A plan to, put a horse's head in Isabella's bed? What is this plan for, Emma? Tell us. Like, I don't need the full breakdown by step, but a single line to say what the broad principle of it is.
I mean, it was about how to get everyone out at the same time without Mom noticing. So he did say that. That's what the plan was about. I'm okay with him not saying much because basically we're introducing this plan for the first time, but maybe we're not ready to tell our viewers. Then some time will pass. Then maybe Norman and Emma will tell Ray. Norman at that point will have, figured out some kind of a weird way to get his way with Norman or Emma or whatever. So we've established the plan, and then we're establishing that time has passed enough, and that we're going to tell Ray. Every one of them is going to kind of alter the plan or something to suit their own interests, and going to make Norman go with it or something.
That's not true, because Vader, they're going to say, I have altered the plan, play it and alter it further. Now, there's only so far the plan gets altered before,
I am altering the plan per play. I don't alter it any further.
Exactly.
I will say that I
am your daddy. I mean,
that's not what I'll say. Not to you.
Luke, I am your papa.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. I don't know what's wrong with me today.
No, it's great. I'm enjoying it. So like I think the plan is, well, no, that can't be right. That can't be right because
we'll wait until
anyway. So yeah, Emma's like, I have a plan. Cut to however many minutes later. Are you sure this plan is going to work? Like, are you sure about this? And Emma's like, yeah, like totally. And So it turns out in the manga, like, she very much does have a plan, and
I hope so.
it...
The plan is Nigeruntayo.
God, really, you keep distracting me.
I'm so sorry.
No, it's great. No, this is me. This is the continual joke loop. So, like, she has this plan, but I don't believe there's ever this moment where she says, hey, guess what? I have a plan. You know what I mean? It's just kind of like, it's suddenly it's happening. And the other characters are sort of like, whoa, like, how's all this set up? She thought of all this? And then it's happening, and the character's like, what? Like,
that's amazing.
Man, she's really
I want Emma to be this cool character.
But yeah, so it's like you wonder, like, should we have had this scene at all? You know what I mean? Or should it have been like that, where it's just sort of sprung upon you that she was thinking about things and planning all, or do you like it where she's like, I have a plan. Here is the plan. Audience, you will not hear the plan, but you will see the plan. I don't know. I guess I don't know if there's like a wrong way in principle to do it, but
right. So I was assuming basically later they would rediscuss the plan or would do something about the plan, so it would come up later. But if you're spoiling the entire thing now and are saying the plan will come up kind of out of nowhere, then it's a bit weird.
No, I think there are more iterations to come.
Okay.
We'll wait and see. We'll wait and see. That's my feeling on it.
Yeah. So what we do sort of see is Norman saying, like, well, Emma saying, sort of expressing doubts about Ray, and Norman saying, "Don't worry, like, I'll talk to Ray. Let me talk to Ray. I'll get Ray on board."
That Emma did say the "I have a plan" thing in the manga.
Where?
Chat. You
I'm back and check. Oh, okay, cool, great, perfect, awesome.
Okay.
Thank you, Manira, for checking that. I need, like, this is what I need to be doing as host of a show that talks about it. Well, that's good. So, I lost my place.
I'm sorry.
No, it's not your fault. Yeah, so,
the
like,
silence are invading.
No! It's so awkward. It's hanging over us. Oppressive. So, like,
Airlock Doc. He's a traitor.
like I said, Emma is expressing doubts about Ray. And Norman says he will get him on the level. He will talk to him about the plan, and Ray is going to help everyone escape. And when Ray is doing his skullduggery, he is quote unquote thinking of both of us. He says, which is interesting.
Well, it's still a lie because Ray did tell him, it's just us three or nothing, as far as I'm concerned.
Right.
So that lie is still in effect. We've dealt with one, but there is still that one in play.
Mm-hmm. So then we cut to, like, so Norman says, and I've got Ray leaking false information to Mom currently. So cut to, in progress, Ray leaking false information to Mom. And he's saying, Mom's saying, oh, so you got in a fight with Norman. That's where you got the bandage. It's like, we had a difference of opinion. Also, Norman's trying to kill you. Which is like, it's funny. That's a thing that they talked about very early. As a plan, we have to kill Mom with a fork. And so...
I'm going to sharpen this spoon. I'm coming, Mom.
Which
I'm gonna get you.
Just hearing Ray say "Mom's trying to kill you," like, it just sounds disingenuous, like, coming at. But so, like, he also learns, and we've no idea at this point whether or not this is Mom also dropping false information, because again, she's sort of painted as always 3 moves ahead of the kids. Mm-hmm. So, she could be very aware Ray's a double agent, and she's using that to manipulate them, but she says, like, there's no shit.
She is painted as being 3 moves ahead, but not really shown to be 3 moves ahead. She's barely in these, and, like, I'm really waiting for that moment where Mom is like, yes, I knew about this. Now you're not doing it. Like, and also, I ruined this other plan B. And, like, now you're staying home. And, like, fuck.
Okay.
I'm really waiting for that moment.
Yes. If Ray was the one to suggest this, but that's right, I forgot that part. So does Emma in the episode say, I have here's the plan, Ray suggested it? Because that's what Manira says in chat. Because, like...
I can't recall.
Okay, well,
everything... In my opinion...
It sounded like
we don't need to worry about much about it.
She came up with a plan, at least.
Well, here's the reason it matters, is because there's the last shot in the show has everything to do with the plan that Ray was suggesting. But we'll get there.
The last shot of Crone's face. I mean, wait, spoilers.
Oh, wait, was that not the last... Oh, well, there's a shot of, like, Norman in the bedroom.
Oh, my God.
And looking behind Ray's bed and opening up the floorboard and sees
what the fuck was that?
Okay, so
that's probably the tools he's been collecting.
Well,
that would be my guess.
So you know how he tells Mom, Norman's trying to kill you, Norman's trying to poison you. So what we need to do is get rid of all the things he would poison you with. I'll take care of that. So I'll take these chemicals and hide them under my bed and use them for later. So yes. So if this is the same plan that Emma's speaking of, then it makes sense. And the plan that I was talking about Emma having is entirely different. And yes, I did sort of halfway spoil something for everyone. I'm sorry about that. That's my fault.
So Ray suggested killing Mom, not Ray suggested the plan that Emma had. Yeah.
No, the latter. Ray suggested the plan that Emma is telling Norman about.
No, Ray suggested killing Mom.
Well, that too early on, but that was poo-poo.
But Emma's plan is not Emma's plan.
The plan is not to kill Mom.
Honestly, this doesn't matter. We don't need to worry about the specific. We don't need to worry about the specific minutia of who said what.
If Emma comes up with a cool plan, I'm all for it. If Ray tells Emma a plan and then Emma is like, "Yes, okay, here's the plan." That sucks.
Okay, well,
Emma is the best character. Emma should be doing the shit.
Yeah. Well, both
don't at me.
Both things happen, so don't worry. We'll be okay.
Okay.
So the way that
looking at you with raised karate hands.
Yeah. So everything. Yes. Everyone. Oh, I'm gonna have to go rewatch the episode because I'm very unclear. But yeah, the way I have put the picture together is that. Yes, again. So we have Ray giving Mom false information, like Norman wants to kill you. The actual plan, we have no idea whether or not it has to do with killing Mom. Like, this is just him saying, hey, Norman wants to kill you, he wants to poison you with chemicals, let me get all the chemicals and replace them with just water so he can't use them anymore. He's clearly been taking all the chemicals and hiding them under his bed. Now, what we're unclear about is if, like, this, what Ray is scheming has anything to do with what Emma was telling Norman. That's what we're unclear about. But, anyway, so, the last scene of the episode, we need to talk about, so there's no shipment next month in November. This is what I was saying, we don't know if Mom is also dropping false information. There's apparently...
Mom, like, whenever she says that kind of stuff, has, like, the weirdest facial expressions, like, yes, you know. no
I'm joking. I'm joking. No.
Yeah.
Won't ship you out just yet, Ray.
Frog face.
Like, you'll have some use to me.
Like...
Yeah, it's like the face that's like, oh, I will kill you, you little shit.
I know.
Just you wait. Your brain's gonna become food for Mr. Obama. He/him.
You know what your brain's gonna be sandwiched between the set of your skull? A couple of leaves of lettuce, a slice of Monterey Jack, some fucking relish, you little twerp.
Get ready. It's happening. And this conversation was very, I hate to use this word now that we've been talking about brain sandwiches, meaty. It was meaty because like there's all these little bits, like, you know, Ray saying, okay, so there's no shipment in November, that means the next shipment will be in January. He wants to, like, so it'll be his 12th birthday. Like, gosh. So do we know if we're very unclear on the nature of Ray's agreement with Mom specifically. Like, we only have these hints to go by. Like, it sort of sounds like that he made an agreement to not be shipped off early? Like, and to live his days out in peace until he was 12?
Yeah, that's really weird, because I thought, being the snitch was basically, okay, he's not getting shipped out. So now she's like, yeah, okay, he's getting shipped out, so why did he do all of this for?
Yeah,
or like,
it's weird.
In mom's eyes, like, his...
Maybe she's changing it to warn him, maybe, yeah.
Yeah, so in mom's eyes, his allegiance wouldn't be, like, unwavering. It wouldn't be like, oh my god, okay, I will keep on your side because you're not going to kill me. Like, she's going to kill him. So, why, like, I guess mom, next episode, will be revealed to not have trusted anyone ever.
Just using everyone for her own...
Well, that's it. There's nothing to say that, Rey was never anything but a disposable tool for her.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yes.
I mean, the thing is, think of it this way. If she hadn't cancelled the shipment in November, the one in January would be going ahead regardless, I would say, because it's monthly. So this, and also bear in mind, she's under instructions to ship out the kids whenever. So she can decide that. So she's making an emphasis on, when the next one's going to be, as in specifically point out to, Rey, oh, well, look who's got the short straw here. It's you. So I think that she's using that as, like, a way of reminding him. And maybe the thing is, he just says the shipment's going to be that one. Maybe she won't do it. There's no explicit mention that she'll do it. But I think that, it's just a reminder that the guillotine is perpetually over his head.
What a shitty agreement. Like,
yeah, that's a pretty shitty, especially since
he has high scores anyway.
Yeah. So he wouldn't have been shipped anyway. So what the hell?
I mean, why not
also,
just...
like, you're one... let me just say, your super important shipment, right? And you have the one spy, the one source of information who has been very accurate with the information so far. So, your one source of information, you want to, like, put his allegiance in danger by reminding him, yeah, you're gonna die.
I mean, maybe...
So, like, he basically has no reason not to betray her.
Maybe
the thing is, that you're forgetting though. Maybe the way is to do that is not to necessarily, he won't betray Mom, but maybe he'll betray Emma and Norman. Push the buttons, see if he'll react in the opposite way, which would be to turn on them instead.
Okay. So basically, then like 2 episodes from now, she'll give him the option. Okay, you can either try to run away or whatever, or you can like stay in the home and you can become a mom when you grow up. As long as you give up your friends.
Mama Rey.
Mom Rey.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, well, it's yeah, it's unclear.
Chess.
Is he just a little James Dean? He's just like, life past 12 years old is going to be boring and shitty anyway. Don't let me live a day past 12. I want to die young. Like, what the fuck? Like, so yeah, I'm very...
Rey died in a car accident back to his home planet.
Exactly. James, so was there a line about Rey?
Yes. He's like, yes, please make he specifically asked for Norman and Emma not to be shipped out yet.
That's right, because those are his...
I don't get it.
Was that line before he was told that the shipment had been delayed anyway? Because if that's the case, that would make sense.
I think so.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Because, like, yeah, I mean, it would make sense to him asking for that because, like, he's seen so many people go. Like, they've been the only constants in his life that he can call friends. So, yeah, let my friends stay alive too, please.
Or alternative interpretation, maybe there's a bit of that. Maybe it's just more the pragmatism of that he needs both.
You're totally right about that. Yeah, he's
yeah.
Like, these high scorers, I want them alive. Yeah.
Could be either way. I mean, I would ask the question, if Rey's been building to his escape for so long, how come he hasn't done it yet? Can he not do it by himself?
Probably not.
Just saying.
Probably not. There's probably no way to do it by yourself.
Maybe Rey has a big bomb in his brain.
God damn it. Certainly his chances of surviving outside of the farm would be very, very
just
small
by himself.
If he was by himself. And he's probably thought about that far ahead.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, I can tell you one way immediately you do that. You need to have people watching at night.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, if he falls asleep, and he's on his own, he's got no one covering him.
You need to have people to eat when things go.
Yeah.
Exactly. When the boat begins to sink,
yes.
and you run out of food, you gotta.
When you can't see any seagulls anymore.
Exactly. Okay, so we talked about the stash of chemicals underneath Ray's bed, and we've not necessarily speculated about what they may be. Do we want to speculate about what is
without
going on
knowing
there
what
or
they
not?
are or what the tracking devices even are? It's not really. I can't think of much right now. We don't have enough information.
Okay, so speculate how they're going to make Mom not check the tracking device. Or what?
But we don't know. I don't know. Like we don't know what they are.
This is just him speculating on their use. We haven't
Right.
said yay or nay, like how they will be used.
We
How
don't.
they will pour bleach in Mom's eyes.
Yeah, exactly. That's it.
Do you like
the
that
one.
pine fresh scent, you bitch?
I mean, like, basically Don Flamenco was fucking able to pickpocket Mom. Just like that. So why can't you just grab the thing? It's like, oh no, I put it in the washing machine.
Is it going to be like Fallout 3's, you can pop a grenade in someone's inventory?
Oh
There'll be
my
like
God.
53% chance. I mean, all of the ingredients they picked up thus far look like things you'd get from a Fallout, like 3 or 4.
They sure do. Oh my god.
So I'm just waiting for, Ray to take all of them to the crafting benches and mill them into
Yeah, they
bullets.
just need to find a crafting bench. Yeah. Oh no, we don't have a crafting bench. Okay, I'm gonna need like 2 screwdrivers and like a thing to put on the desk, and now it's a crafting bench. Now it has special powers.
Ray ends up building the trash gun from Fallout 3 and shoots teddy bears at people.
Oh my god, they raid rooms. They raid Mom's room.
No, I'm going to go one
They
better.
do not raid Rom's room. That's Gears of War.
Yep.
I'm gonna go one better and just say if they do make the trash good, I hope that when Ray or Emma ever fires it at Mom, he says this one's for Connie, and little Bunny just flies out and smacks her in the face.
T-shirt gun. Enjoy this.
Yes.
Enjoy this horrible lockpicking minigame.
Oh, fuck.
This one has your name on it, and then the bunny comes out, and like it's slow motion, the bunny's rotating, and in the back it says Mom. And while it's
I hope you
good.
for that.
Okay, so moving on past the chemicals, I think the last thing we have left to talk about is she's back, folks, after a couple weeks hiatus. Sister Crone makes
Starring
her
in
lovely
The
return.
Sound of Music.
Yeah,
Because that's what the first thing was that popped into my head when I started doing that dance.
Lots
I'm just like,
of
woman,
pirouettes,
you're the worst.
ballet, faces are happening on my screen.
What a fucking reintroduction of this character, right? I'm in this chat. I will read now what I was saying at the time, because basically I was watching this thing, and I'm like, oh my god, hey, wow, Crone, Crone hasn't shown up. Crone has basically 100% just disappeared from this shit. And then, right as I type that in our chat that we have here on Discord, Crone shows up making the most horrible Crone face Crone has ever croned. Oh my god. This is the worst caricature face ever in this show. It was so bad.
It's pretty rough.
I was thinking to myself, all right, slightly rocky opening 30 seconds of the show, but it's been really, really good so far. Sailing on, and then just the sound of a free car crash in my head.
And I'm gonna give the controversial opinion. Aside from the horrible face at the beginning, I think this was a very good reintroduction of Crone. And this was the best scene Crone has ever had.
That's
Was she not
a low bar to clear.
Yeah. Here's the thing, right? Her actually being back here right now,
I've stepped over pieces of paper.
If she wasn't completely hamming it up to and chewing the scenery,
oh my god, yes. Like
she
a
would have been
breath of
fine.
fresh air.
Because the intent, it is terrifying that she's there now, partly because she's back for the audience, But for the kids, like, it is genuinely a bad thing that she's there and says, I know your secret.
Yeah, like, so some Felix asked, she can't be this theatrical in the manga. Like, I truly don't, maybe it's the lack of the motion, but I honestly don't recall her, like, being drawn, like, doing pirouettes and shit. Like, her faces are absolutely, like, exaggerated. In even worse, like, in the manga, if you can believe it, like, it's the facials are bad. But like James says, like, they actually do have internal monologue, so she doesn't have to, like, hold the doll and dance around and talk to the doll and stuff like that. So, like, I feel like that part of her character, and we talked about this before, it was different, and she felt like more of a world-building tool than this character that needed to be different than Isabella. And so she's got to be spicy, and Isabella's cold and icy. Which is what I think they're kind of going for here in the anime, which is by and large. But yeah, I mean, she's, I wasn't, like, hating my life throughout these, like, few seconds that she was on screen, except for, like, the introduction, like the
introduction was so bad. But yeah, no, like, I think the theatricality here kind of works, because she's trying to super intimidate these children. Like, basically, like, drive the point very slowly that, hey, I know what you're up to, and kind of make a weird impression. Which kind of works here, I think.
He, me, Sue.
I think.
Right. Yeah, she knows the secret.
I could say, I just wish that she wasn't, the cartoon character that she is. Like, I know it's a weird thing to say, a cartoon character in an anime, but she is the only one who is a cartoon character in this show.
Yeah.
And it not fucking
Can we talk about how she's introduced? Like, fucking, the children are walking, and you get a small glimpse of Maid Apron behind the tree.
Yeah.
The screen bleaches out in color. It fades partially to white. And you get close-ups of all the characters, slow motion, horrified expressions. It's so amazing! It's so good! I love it! Like, if you had to introduce a character that not only horrifies the characters, but also horrifies anyone that watches the anime by how horrible she is, how would you introduce her? How would you make an impactful introduction? That's exactly how you would do it. They did it. Wonderful direction. A 6 out of 10.
Maybe if it was, like, a different character, you know what I mean? Like, maybe if we hadn't been poisoned, like, by everything else.
So in this case, it's like, okay, I have a very bad memory. So it's been, like, 2 full episodes without Crone. So basically, okay, Crone was weird, I guess. Oh, she's crazy. So, I don't know.
Right.
Like, she kind of shows up again. In my brain, it's kind of like almost like a clear, clean slate reintroduction, kind of. Because she's laying low, mom is onto her, or whatever. And now she's like, okay, now I'm in the plot. And now I'm intimidating these children with my weird antiques. It's like, well, yeah, the bar is not very high, but I liked this better than her talking to herself and doing these weird things on her own and being massively crazy. Like, now she's just kind of intimidating. Now it has kind of a purpose.
Yeah, her theatrics are actually now being passed through the children's experience, through the character's experience. It's not strictly for the benefit of the audience, where it's just completely and utterly tonally, like, deaf and ill-advised and ill-thought out. So it's a little bit.
Shadon just uses the big words. I should let him talk. I don't know what I'm saying.
No, you made the point.
Go, use the big words. Come on, give him some big words.
It felt verisimilitudinous.
I am discombobulated.
Thanks, verbose McBigwords. You're so garrulous. Garrulous. How do you pronounce that? Not garrulous. I was thinking Gregarious is what I meant to say. Fuck me. So, boy, we have the the deal with the bargain. The bargain is proposed. The deal with the devil, right? Crone says, "Join me. Like, you know the secret. I know you know the secret. Let's join forces to defeat the Zerg, humans and Protoss alike." So, like, yeah, and then that's the end of the episode. Do you think that they will join her? Do you think... I mean, they're kind of cornered, wouldn't you say?
I'm going to wait and I'm going to reserve judgment on that until we see next episode and get some more info.
Yeah, get some more... What does she want? Like, what is the deal?
Yeah. One of you kill Isabella for me.
Oh, boy.
There.
Woo! Yeah, that would
that
be...
Could be
What's a better show that I've seen that basically one of the characters, like, yeah, what if you kill this person for me? Or something. Okay, this rings vibes. I there's something familiar here. You keep going.
Okay.
Hibernate and
all right, we got
perform some brain power.
Do we have some talking points, Shadon? I know that you've got a big... So for anyone, there have been several people who have come in kind of late. Shadon has an expansive theory regarding Billy Minerva and his Morse code laden book stickers, and Phil and everything. So
Phil's a joke theory, so don't worry about him.
Well, let me hit the talking points button here.
Talking points.
If you don't take Phil seriously, he'll show up at your door. Ring your doorbell 3 times.
What's coming?
It's true. It's true. Okay, so...
No, on the first day, he rings your doorbell 3 times. And then on the second day, he rings it 1 time.
Man,
and just yells Phil outside your door.
God damn. The next time anything, like, remotely spooky at my house happens, like if the power goes out, I'm gonna, like, sit up and say, Phil! God.
What are you talking to? Oh, it's nothing, darling. Don't mind me. Right. So, let's talk about Mr. Minerva here, and also the idea of when is it okay for characters to fuck shows? Because if you've been listening to our podcast for a while now, you probably heard me complain a lot of times, like, this character's a dipshit, and I fucking hate them because they're a dipshit. They should have done this thing. But there are other times where I've been like, I like the fact that they've cocked up here. This is good. This is good drama. And so I've been having to think on this since I watched this episode, and I think I've come to a distinction, which is that it's okay for characters to fuck up if it's the narrative intent. What do I mean by narrative intent? If the writer deliberately meant for them to mess up in a way that makes logical sense, in context, because they don't have the correct knowledge, because they're distracted by outside issues. You're like, if you've just been through a tragic experience, obviously you might not be thinking straight, that kind of thing. As opposed to the other example, which I'm going to go back to Frank's for this, like, one of the things I remember is that they decided to keep tilling the earth when it was turned out to be infertile. Why did they keep doing that? Was it because of a plot point, where they were like, well, we've got to do something? No, they just kept doing it because the writers didn't think about what they were talking about.
So many things I've forgotten that you... Oh.
Yeah. Now, why is this relevant to Mr. Minerva, you might be thinking to yourself? Here's the thing, right? Ray voices a little bit of skepticism here, but I am hugely skeptical about the authenticity of whoever this guy is, or even if he is real. Why am I saying that? Firstly, this is a point I also made in Frank's, but Frank's, in that case, was a badly written piece of shit, whereas I'm actually giving the Promised Neverland the credit it should be due. The library that they have is something that's been cultivated by, Mom, and who presumably whoever supplied it from the outside world. If they want to keep the kids in, a state of docile happiness, like, I don't know if you've been reading them, but I've got to give quick shouts to Emily Rand, who's doing a number of articles on the Promised Neverland as she goes along. And she brought up 1984. And the way 1984's dystopia works, as Emily's rightly pointed out, is it was based on misinformation. They rewrote history by saying, that rather than the plane being invented by the Wright brothers, it was invented by the party. So, if you want to keep the kids, docile, why would you ever give them information about Morse code, for example? Why would you ever do that? Why would you ever, have all of these labels in these books? Because if the kids can spot them, surely whoever's been putting them there can. Why?
I don't know. Like,
I don't know about that.
And I'm not done.
okay, yeah. No. I'm not. I don't want to discredit your whole theory or anything like that. I guess I just want to ask the question. I mean, for instance, I just know if I was like curating their library, like I would never in a million years have bothered to check. If you know what I mean, like it would never have occurred to me the circle. Even if I was like, oh, here's a child's book about Morse code, like I probably wouldn't have even looked at the sticker.
You wouldn't even like read the entire thing. And see that it's a Morse code.
This is why I said I'm not done, because I want to explain further on.
Okay. What I was gonna say is basically. Fuck, I forgot.
Okay, hold the thought.
Okay, so also, why do they have maps of the outside world? They have like world maps, which we've seen a number of times.
Yes.
Why give them hints that there is anything outside that's worth being interested in? Why tell about Morse code? Why have this Willie Minerva's labeled on here? So here's my thinking. First off, I am skeptical. I could, in theory, point to you and say, hey, maybe they're there deliberately by the people running, the farm. They want them to escape for some as of yet unexplained reason. Mm-hmm. And this is one way of seeding hints for them to do that. Same with the map. Give them hints of ideas about the outside world. That gate we saw in the first episode that's barely up to my knee, why even have that there if it's not some, unless it was a hint for them to go over it? Now, that's a lot of wild speculation here. The reason why I'm bringing this up in relevance to the idea of characters fucking up, though, is because Emma buys immediately into this idea that there is an ally out there when the evidence for it is incredibly thin at this particular point in time. Could turn out to be true. It could be. But for me, it seems at the moment like she's putting a lot of emphasis on this being a thing that they can rely on when they've got so little to go on. And that to me is a mistake that she's making. Not a mistake that it will necessarily cause many immediate problems now, but could potentially further down the line. I mean, what if it turns out to be like the ending of The Fault in Our Stars, where they find Mr. Minerva and he's like 80 years old, drinking his way through a bottle of booze and says, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't think anyone would actually find me here. I got nothing for you, we're all fucks. Could be that. Here's the thing, though, and here's why I like this.
That would be cool. I hope that happens. I hope they meet William Minerva and he's just like, oh, Jesus, I did put the fucking Morse code in there.
Oh, my God, that was like 10 years ago. What the fuck?
I've totally given up since then. I just want to fish, yo.
Damn kids, get off my lawn. Well, the point being is this. This is actually a way of demonstrating Emma's character. Because Emma, as we've seen, believes greatly in other people.
Right.
So she'll even believe in a person she's never met who could just be an entirely fictional construct or could even be an enemy. Mm-hmm. Who knows? But I think that this is a way of how, through another mistake that she's making by putting too much faith in this otherwise, completely, thin on the ground, even potentially coincidental load of evidence in front of them of an ally, that it still shows that she does genuinely believe in the promise of people out there who would look after them, who would care for them, a resistance maybe of some sort. Who knows? Who knows exactly what she's thinking of and how she wants to see it? But she believes in that. And that's another way of enhancing her character by reading into that, which I really, really appreciate. So that's what I'm saying about when characters are allowed to mess up. If it's narratively intended for them to cock up because it, helps drive the story forward in a meaningful way or helps them develop, get knocked down, you get back up again, you go for a little bit of an arc. I think that's really welcome. So I really appreciate that. The mystery of Minerva, that'll come along later, but we'll find out. Oh, before I forget, let's also talk about the mythological reference here, because Minerva is a Roman god. Minerva was the Roman god of wisdom. Mm-hmm. Now, I actually have the Wikipedia article up here. Mm-hmm. According to this, and I quote, following the Greek myths around Athena, Minerva, she was born of Metis, who had been swallowed by Jupiter and burst from her father's head, fully armed and clad in armour. Yep. Jupiter forcibly impregnated Metis, which was on the chant to the same shape, blah, blah, blah. Jupiter
did a lot of that shit.
Yeah. Jupiter then recalled the prophecy that his own child would overthrow him as he had Saturn, and in turn, Saturn had Caelus. Why is any of this relevant to what I've been talking about? Here's the thing, right? You might know Metis from, of all things, Persona 3. Now, here's the thing, right? Metis in Greek myth was a word that meant nobody. It came from nothing. So take that in this context. Minerva has come from nothing as the one side, Jupiter the other. Jupiter, in my view, meaning the enemy, the demons. And so that again feeds into my theory that whatever, weight there might be behind it, that they intend for the kids to escape as a kind of test. And that's so Minerva is just a complete fabrication to give them hints along that route. But then bear in mind the prophecy.
So part of the simulation is that they learn they're in the simulation. But that is also a simulation, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah. All right, please continue.
Yeah. But bear in mind also the prophecy element of this, which is that Jupiter is then destroyed by his own child.
Right.
So even though Jupiter intends to use, like in this context, like Jupiter being the demons, uses Metis to lure, kids out. Uses Minerva to lure the kids out. The kids then use Metis, even though he was complete fiction, to, overthrow them. Now, whether or not this will hold any fucking water whatsoever with the plot is a different matter. But the final thing I'll know is just because you might be curious why an owl's there. Minerva, the goddess, is indeed associated with owls and wisdom, is the patron of wisdom and strategic warfare. Mm-hmm. So, beard stroking time.
So I was going to say, basically, Emma's stance towards this is less, oh my god, we have an ally. Oh my god, let's go find this dude. Oh my god, let's do this. It was more like hope. That basically, someone must have put this there. So it means there must be humans out. There might be someone we can turn to. There might be other people who have gone through what we have been going through. Mm-hmm. So I saw it as more that kind of hope rather than, ally. Something.
I don't quite agree. I think that she is leading into it as a literal person.
Okay.
I think that's my personal interpretation of it, because she places weighty emphasis on introducing Ray and Norman to Mr. Minerva.
Right.
And plus the specific messages as well that they, the words that are in there. They believe that there are hints to be found in this particular piece of fiction. If it was just a thing of hope, they wouldn't take any stock in the actual books themselves.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there is a mythology book there, so maybe it does talk about that stuff. Whatever.
Possibly.
Yeah, I'm curious, again, is the mythology book the one with the whole circle? Or is it the one with Promise? Because I feel like one, basically my kind of theory is the book that says Promise in it is what Minerva is hinting at could be the future, and the one that has the whole circle in it is the one that is their present reality analogously. So I want to know which one it is. Is there a young adult adventure novel that just is the Promised Neverland story that has the whole circle in it?
Let's find out next time.
Next time on Dragon Ball Z.
Ripley's Believe It or Not.
Right. Or Believe It Maybe. So
maybe. So but I was wondering about. Oh, do you have something to say?
No, I was going to change the subject. So if you want to talk about this, go ahead.
Yeah. So you also mentioned why do they give children maps of the area?
Yeah, this is what I was going to talk about too.
Maps of the world, stuff. Basically, they give children a lot of information about the outside world. A lot of it seemed to be from 2005, 2015 or something, a lot of time ago. But basically, I figured it would be basically to kind of have them have hope, make the entire thing seem more normal, make them not kind of, because we're dealing with smart children. We're dealing with children that score big numbers on the intelligence test. Obviously, some of them might have had doubts if there weren't books, if there wasn't any mention of the outside world or anything like that. Mm-hmm. So I can imagine. Or maybe if the child is happy, the brain tastes better.
Well, that's... Yeah. Okay, so this is what I was going to... Oh, wait, no, sorry. Go.
After you done. After you.
Okay, no, okay. I was just going to say, regarding this point, that I think that there are two reasons, or at least two things that sprung to my mind when you were saying, why are they privy to all this information in libraries? Mm-hmm. And the way that Grant from the Blade Licking Thieves podcast breaks, he has an interesting kind of framing device for this sort of thing. He talks about what is it? How does he put it? Watsonian reasons and Doylean reasons. So that's his way of talking about in-universe and out-of-universe reasons. Like, the reason characters will do things, like, you can explain it according to the fiction, or you can explain it, like, according to kind of the fact that it's in a novel, the fact that the author wanted to do this or that. So I think the in-universe reason, the Watsonian reason, is that the kids need stimulation, right? That, like, as kids grow up, from ages 6 to 12, like, they are voracious learners, and like Vorg said, like, they want the brain to, like, to grow and grow and grow, and be stimulated, and that's why they're loved as well as intellectually nurtured. But then I guess your follow-up question would be, well, why not alter the information? Why not give them a bunch of things?
That's the 9A4 reference I made, because that's specifically what they do is control the populace.
So, like, I think to answer this one, I might lean on Doylean reasoning or out of universe reasoning, and say, like, I guess the author maybe was thinking, the author may be less interested in them kind of separating true facts from false facts, and more like just trying to kind of get out of their situation. That do you know what I mean? Like, that would add like a bunch of more kind of, like, they would have to uncover more lies, uncover the truth of them. Like, that would add all these other obstacles that then it might really start to become unbelievable that children could suss out the truth of all this stuff. And you know what I mean? I don't know. This is just what I mean,
like, already, I would say already we don't really know much about what the world is outside. So we are already going to be uncovering, like, situations and seeing what the world is like. So I don't think having misleading information would even complicate things. Things are already complicated.
That's true, but that's not what I'm trying to get at here. I'm trying to say that, as again in 9A4, even though, you know, the world of 9A4 is revealed to be a fake thing, at least the attempt could be made by the authorities to mislead them or limit what information they receive in order to better control them. So I'm just curious as to, you know, are they doing that deliberately in order to entice them to have that mindset, you know, to be aware of the outside world? And for what reason do they then want them to get out there, maybe, if that's the reason at all? Right.
So, and you're, like... Yeah.
I'm not saying they have to be successful here. I'm just saying that they should at least be trying it, if that's what they want to do, to have a stable population.
Sure. And you're from a Watsonian in-universe point of view, that makes sense. I think Vorg and I are just saying, from the author's point of view, like, that the explanation is she doesn't want to make the story too, like, that much more complicated, too difficult essentially for the children, too unbelievable. Yeah, and have kind of too many things to untangle for the audience, like too many levels of truth and falsehood, I guess. Have they mentioned in the anime, like, the dates on the books or the maps?
2015, something like that, like 40 years ago or something.
Yeah. Okay. Ray mentions about the technology being used by the radio.
Okay, so they have talked about that. That is good.
I'm actually in the middle. I'm actually like, okay, so even if that layer of indirection was added, basically, they're going to get out anyway, and we don't know what the world is like. It's like our current, like, you know, it's like our current information is like, okay, the world is normal, or the world has monsters, and we don't know. Even our current information has the exact same kind of current, like, real world information has the exact same kind of power, or the exact kind of same place as false misinformation.
And imagine,
because we don't know what the world is like.
And, like, imagine, so you could be onto something with talking about the gate, right? Like the tiny, like, little gate that they can hop over. Like, not a real obstacle. And the idea of not having, like, a giant fucking 20-foot high concrete wall with guard towers is to let the children feel more at ease so that they can grow it and develop and feel loved and feel like they're not caged in. So like, perhaps the idea is, like, the aliens, I mean, again, talking in universe here, the aliens, the mutant, the demons are probably not thinking about, like, we need to make sure these little kids don't escape. They're motivated by brain tastes good when intellectual and healthy and loved. So they're just like, give them the knowledge. Like, we want them to be loved, and we want them to be like, they're probably not even thinking, boy, if they get a hold of these maps, they're gonna escape and
so
get out of here. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So what I'm thinking is, since this is not the only farm, obviously this is not the only farm. Maybe this is like Mom's way of doing things. Like, this farm
Also
has
could be.
has been specifically selected to give children to he/him. So clearly this farm is held like to high regard. This farm is kind of outputting high quality results. Maybe it really depends on how like the individual moms run things. I wouldn't, like I mentioned before, I wouldn't be surprised if basically the children escape. They find a different farm and it's run completely differently. Like, the children are miserable, there's a high fence or whatever, we have that kind of stuff. So
like the vaults from Fallout.
Yeah. Kinda.
Yeah. And the best way to raise them and to have them not be suspicious about anything is to have it not be a prison, really have it just operate as an orphanage. Imagine if some smart, precocious child discovers discrepancies in history books. You know what I mean? If they don't do a good job of managing the misinformation and controlling it, like, and then they start to be like, they start to think, oh, what's true? Lies. Yeah. Like, well, oh no, am I living a lie?
So Mom, maybe Mom was basically one of the first people to figure that kind of stuff out and turn this into like a science and get out really good results. And that's how she ended up running this the way it is.
I should stress, I'm not actually criticizing the anime for this in the slightest. I am just theorizing, why it is the way it is. This isn't like Frank's, where they inexplicably had books about farming. That was bullshit. Let's be honest.
No, I think this is interesting to think about. I'm really glad you brought it up, actually.
Yeah, I mean, that's where I got the idea from Emily mentioning 984 specifically. Yeah, because I am very much of the opinion that, I mean, even then, like how I said before about how characters can make mistakes and it's okay. Same thing here. Maybe they have given them too much information by accident.
They could have. They could have.
Yeah, Minerva's Morse code was dependent on them knowing to decipher Morse code in the first place. So, there's a lot to unpack here, and I'm just curious, if he even does exist or not. Like, there's a lot of mystery about him, but a main point I was trying to make was that it enhances Emma's character by having her put that particular belief in this person who, at present, and could well be just entirely fictional character.
For sure.
Because it reminds us of her.
I love that we're assuming Minerva is a dude, even though Minerva's not a dude name.
Well, first name William. But
was it William?
It was William, yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, not saying that there can't be a lady called William. That could happen. It is 2045.
Nobody would write a lady named Bill.
Her name, the pseudonym,
Hello, here is my girlfriend Bob.
Billie Jean Minerva.
That's a different kind. Whatever.
Yeah. Well, also, the last thing I'll say, comparing 1984, like the party, the state, and that versus the demons, like the
party, spring break.
They definitely like, the main objective is control of the citizenry there, and like they're thinking about like, how do we manipulate these fully formed human beings? Like, how do we control people? The demons are just thinking about they think of us like cows. You know what I mean? They're not thinking about us as like these amazing, intelligent. They're just like, how do we grow the best meat? They're not really like obsessed with control and getting the cows to believe certain things about the world. You know what I mean? So that's why I wouldn't stress about it too much. Although I think it is an interesting, again, a really interesting thing to bring up.
All right. Anyone else have any talking points?
I think we've hopefully said everything we have to say.
I'm good.
No, I'm good, but you got more? Bring it. I'm ready. I got time. Hit me.
I have one more that I just want to open the floor. This is not something I really want to spend till I speculate about, but I did put a poll.
Open the floor,
I don't know if I don't know if you two actually saw the poll. Question for you. So I don't know if we brought this up in the discussion, but we noted that Little Bunny was down there in that hidden room. But so were a lot of other trophies or toys from the children. So question for you. Option A, is Mom keeping them down there as, slightly grief-stricken reminders of the horrible things she must do? Or B, is it her trophy collection?
B. It's B. I mean,
really
I called it. I called it like last episode.
Well, I mean, why keep?
She's gonna have a bunch of trophies. I'm pretty sure it's B.
I mean, why keep them at all? Because,
or C. There's a limited stuffed toy budget, and she has to recycle them every few years.
Oh, that's cold. Because if
Or
you think
C,
of this
they're
way,
collector's items from 2015 and on eBay in 2045 are worth like £30 each.
that is so, Doc. That's so cold though. Because if you think about it, when she's got like every single kid out of the way who knew Connie and knew who Little Bunny was, here you go. This toy's brand newish, a little worn, but you know,
Wow,
that's really
that's pretty good
cold.
actually. That's pretty good actually.
Fuck. If you want my opinion on this, I'm actually going to probably say that it might be a little bit of everything. Because
It might be a little bit of everything, yeah. So like, I mean, you know, B is like, oh, trophies. I'm not sure if I necessarily see her as like, oh, I kill these children, I keep their toy.
well, it doesn't need to be that extreme.
Yeah, exactly. But she kind of maybe. We don't really know her backstory. I think we know that her kind of backstory was a bit like harsh or something. Something was mentioned at some point.
Manera, just to say what option C was, Doc suggested that maybe the toys are given back out again at some point, which we fleshed out to the idea of once you've got one batch of kids out, you keep all the toys and you give them out to the next generation of sorts. So, which is to me is colder. That's colder than keeping them as trophies because that's like that's a complete absence of attachment even to the things in the first place. Just like, here you go. So, but
Mom so far has shown like a range of emotions that range from I will lie to you children to I will kill you, you little shit.
Yes, I'll kill you with my
That's
stare.
the range. That's the range of emotions.
She did spend a little bit of time looking at Connie's picture previously before removing him. So maybe there's tiny bit.
I hope we get her backstory. Because all we have gotten is like her smiling face, her front, and then her like, you know, talk with the demons, and then her like talks with Ray, and so I hope we get her backstory. It'll be interesting to revisit this question down the road. When we know
Same
more.
with the other ones we've been asking, because this is the thing, it's a mystery story and it's still gradually unfolding. I mean, Minerva's symbol is at the very end of each episode, but this is the first time it's been introduced actually within the episodes proper. I didn't know what the fuck that was until this point.
Oh, okay. I don't watch the openings and endings. Oh my god, I'm missing out.
You get to see Emma punching through a puzzle.
I've seen that like once. I'm okay.
Yeah. So I had no idea what that was.
Symbolic, dude.
Been there, done that. I got it.
Fair enough. So yeah, it's unraveling, and we're going to learn more details. So maybe it'll be worth revisiting. The misinformation, is Minerva real or fake thing? Are they, Mom's equivalent of her Xbox Live achievement rack? Who the fuck can say?
A new one just popped. All right. Well, before we should we rate the episode, or should you tell us check in the polls?
So I'll check in the polls firstly. So I put out 3 questions here. You can find these on our Twitter at Warui Deshou. The first one: is Phil the secret, hidden in plain sight, evil cosmic horror god ruling over the Earth in the Promised Neverland? And there are 2 answers to this. One of them is praise to the evil one, and that's currently 7%. The other one being, he's a regular kid.
Oh my god, did you hear that?
Anything?
Phil knocking at your door.
Oh my god. I think I saw a child in my room.
Oh god.
Phil, is that you? Phil! No, Phil, don't take me!
Ladies and gentlemen, that has been Vorgelia. Thank you very much for listening.
Yeah.
Hello, this is Phil. Oh, hi, guys.
I knew it!
It's a deep voice for a 4-year-old.
I knew you were a spawn to sing.
He's a robot, come on.
So that was the first question. The second one is, based on the evidence presented in episode 6 of the show, Do you believe William Minerva is an ally from the outside, as Emma says? 80% say, oh, show! And 20% say, nah. So people lean towards that. And lastly, does the collection of children's toys in Isabella's hidden room suggest A, guilt regarding the children, or B, trophies of results? We've got 67 to 33. So those polls are open for another 6 days. So get on that, folks. Offer your opinions. Be careful of offending Phil, though, by, saying he's a regular kid. He might get offended by that.
I just had to type Eldritch swatting into the chat because I'm pretty sure that's what just happened.
Hey guys, I'm back. Hello, fellow humans. I am also back. It is me. It is me, your human friend, Valerie. Hello.
Good time, Vorgelia. That's my name. I am here to spread the fun and the joy. 2 positive human emotions.
Oh, lordy.
Well, thank you for handling the Twitter, Shadon.
My pleasure.
So I would rate this episode, I would say, I'm going to go a smidge lower than usual and say 3 3/4 Eldritch horrors dressed as children out of 5. Just because I didn't really talk about this, but my kind of viewing experience of it was like, I just didn't feel the urgency that I usually felt. Like, kind of midway through the episode, I found myself getting a little, maybe it's just because I know what's happening, but I was just kind of a little, bored is too strong of a word, but, started checking my phone, got a little restless.
Disengaged?
Yeah. So it wasn't like grabbing me and pulling me along like the show can do when it's at its best. And again, I fully acknowledge that this could have everything to do with me being a manga reader. So that's where I'm at.
Vorgelia, do you want to rate the episode?
Yes, this episode gave me a lot of feelings in my heart muscle. I felt them.
Is that your fanfiction writing voice again, then? Sounds like a comment I'd see from there.
Sounds of mandibles.
Okay, well, I mean, I've already, gushed on about this episode. I think this is one of my favorite episodes, from this show. And you suck for not liking it. Because it develops
It's great.
So many characters in such good ways. It advances the kind of character dynamic for everything.
3 3/4 stars.
Amazing episode. Okay, so my rating is, if there were 10 of these episodes, I would have put 9 of them in the bottom right corner of our stream, in the gremlin, chaotic, evil corner.
Fair enough.
Okay. Okay.
For me, I mean, we haven't talked about it that much this time around, but again, lots of great directional touches. I was a bit confused about opening up on what was a spinny fairground ride as it was circling around in the middle. That was a little disorienting, but that's neither here nor there. Great atmosphere, again, constant use of ticking clocks in the background. So I didn't really get to talk about it, but this is part of the course of the show by now. The 2 things that drag it down for me are the weak opening. I mean, it's the one time, so it's not the end of the world. If it keeps pulling this shit, though, then I am going to get really mad at it, because I don't care for crappy, deliveries on cliffhangers. And, of course, Crone's arrival at the end, coming in, again, car crash. But otherwise, it delivered really well on everything it sounds to do. We've got more information on the mystery, got more characters. I really, really enjoyed it. I will end up giving this episode... This is going to be one of those rare occasions where I rate an episode higher than Doc, so mark your calendars, folks. Holy shit. I'm going to give this episode 4.25 overly ornate keys out of 5. Because, I mean, it's just why does that key look like that? Fuck hell. It's like wait, I've seen it before. That key is from Legend of Zelda. Da-da-da-da!
It has to be.
It's 2 ornate. Opens the fucking dungeon, or the night, or the boss room.
Keys with this sigil, doors with this sigil will now be open.
It's like, yeah, they built the entire like house. They brought like 5 giant dude monsters to build the entire house in like 3 days, and then one of them took the same 3 days to make this key.
It's ridiculous.
It's like with his giant monster hands, like touching the tiny keys. Like, yes, I will put a wing here. It's going to be amazing.
This is going to look great on Homes and the Hammer.
Maybe if I make a tiny heart here.
Carving with his fingernail and like the tiny like liquid gold.
Yes. No, he has like massive dude hands and like small human-sized like key cutting tools. It's like, oh, make it cute.
Reminds me of for some reason. Have either of you ever read the book by Pearl Buck called The Good Earth?
Nope.
It's told from the point of view of a like either preteen or early teen American girl who's she's born in China, but her parents are Chinese missionaries, and they live over there for a while and then move back to the States at the end. But anyway, there's a character in there.
Spoilers.
Yeah, I know, spoilers. It's not really about the plot, but like there's a character who is a chef who makes these butter pagodas. And he's always like carving stuff into them with his long fingernails, and it grosses people out.
Ah.
I've seen that somewhere. Like, I'm getting like so many images in my brain of like anime from stuff that we've said today, and I'm like, oh, where have I seen this before?
You really do watch anime. Secret's out.
No,
that's gonna make you wake up in the middle of the night and just get this like, what?
No.
Well,
it wasn't me. I didn't watch the anime. It wasn't me. It wasn't me.
I think on
take it back.
On the
take it back.
On with that Shaggy reference, we're going to end our podcast, our YouTube show. Thank you so much for sticking with us, everyone. This has been a very meandering episode, very jokey, but it's been very enjoyable. I hope you all enjoyed it as well. Please follow us at Warui Deshou to see when we're going to go live, to see when podcasts drop, other special streams when we reach various milestones and things like that. You can watch each of us on our Twitch channels, follow us on our Twitter accounts, which now we'll all tell you about. Shadon, where can people find you?
You can find me at Shane1010 on Twitter. And on Curious Cat, you can find me in the pub, whichever pub that may be nearby. I'm also in clubs. I'm also generally around. I'll be at tournaments coming up in Manchester fairly soon, and also in Liverpool. That's about it, really. Come buy me a pint.
That's what I think of when I think of Liverpool. Is just Wayne Rooney going.
Oh man. I'm not going to tell convince Wayne Rooney is like a human being and just like an amorphous muscular mass designed to play football. Because he certainly doesn't have a brain.
Oh, that's true. Vorgelia. Where can people find Vorgelia?
Okay, they can find me at Vorgelia.
Very good.
Anyway, yes.
Thank you.
I guess I'm not playing Tekken today. Whatever. They can not only find me at Vorgelia. I'm going to be on... I'm going to be at Destination Fight 5 this weekend. So I'm going to get destroyed at Tekken over the weekend. If you're coming to DF, you can come say hi. Or something. Come punch me in the face. It's like, oh my god, your voice is annoying. I hate you.
That would never happen.
No, punch them in Tekken. Don't physically hurt.
Okay.
Confine your punches to the world of fighting games, electronics. At the Subtle Doctor is where you can find me on Twitter and Twitch. Just search for that and you will find me. And I say again, we all thank you. Thanks for sticking with us.
Thank you.
Cheers, everyone.
We say it at the end of every episode, and we'll say it again. Embrace each other, everyone, to the ends of the universe.
Smooch. Sorry.
Where's the ending music?
We have some technical difficulties. If you please wait while Shadon makes funny faces. Shadon, Who are we sponsored by this episode? Is that an Axe body spray or?
It's sure for men.